Hello and welcome back to my Let's Challenge of Final Fantasy XIII. In the last episode we were continuing on, or we started pretty much chapter 2 here in the Pulse Vestige, and in this episode we're just going to continue on trying to finish off as in the last, and right at the end of the last episode we had some big sort of reveals, some talks about a lot of the core ideas that revolve in the middle of this game, and we're going to talk about some of them in this episode. But as you can see, we've got these ghouls. They're very basic Seath enemies. Really no real threat to us at all. They sort of shamble about. They've got these sort of... Their attacks don't do a lot of damage, and yeah, really nothing much to be worried about here. But yeah, so the idea here is you've obviously got these fal'Cie, these godlike beings who have the power to transform humans into XIII, who are their servants, and are given a focus. And the focus tells that XIII what they're meant to do with their newfound powers, because as we'll find out later, XIII gain certain powers. And now what we can do is we can actually equip Saz with a power wristband which ups his strength, which is good. Upping strength is always good. So yeah, so we have this. So they have this focus, in which this concept which they have to try and achieve, and if they fail to do so, then they get overcome by the sort of the power that the fal'Cie has given them turns, completely destroys them and turns it into a Seath, which is this sort of shambling shell of a person, and certainly not something anyone wants to turn into. So anyway, we're going to just continue attacking away at these ghouls. And then obviously we also have this key thing around here, which is that Lightning's sister is a XIII, Snow's fiancé is a XIII. And indeed, they're both located in here, and they're being held captive. And we've got to try and find them, rescue them. So now, these ghouls are really quite simple. They have very poor range of vision, so it's very easy to get preemptive strikes, which allows you to pretty quickly run through these enemies. We're going to get slightly tougher enemies towards the end, and we also have those flying Seath as well. I'm going to try and not ignore all of Saz's dialogue, because, as I've said before, I think Saz at one point he was talking about how these Seath here are actually the remains of the Cyclone expedition. So just as we've seen the sort of the bioweapons, the Pantherons and the Zwerg Scandroids that were left behind by that expedition, we also have the soldiers, but the soldiers don't get such a nice fate, and instead I got a preemptive strike there, but no, indeed the soldiers have been turned into Seath here and are left to shamble around the sort of these hallways inside the vestige. Certainly not something you'd wish on anyone. So we're going to zip through this, and we've got another battle just here. I could run past a lot of these battles. As you can see, I mean, a bunch of them are the same battle. You end up doing a lot of battles with just ghouls. Just wanted to show off a few of these battles, but I will end up running through a few, probably trying to avoid a few battles relatively soon. I don't know how you actually get access to the flying... I don't know whether we actually battled the flying enemies at all in this section. I'm actually going to make sure we stagger the other one. Come on. Yes! There we go, that's good. That will finish him off. Saz will. Beautiful. So down goes that ghoul, which is really good. And now, yes, so here's the toughest enemy in this area, is we're just going to try and get this camera around. There. So, these are the toughest areas in this area. You sure ain't human now, he says. As, yeah, so we now have ghasts. And ghasts are much tougher than ghouls. And they also have the ability to cast magic. And so they're pretty much the most dangerous enemies in this area. Most dangerous enemies, probably, we could say, in Chapter 2. But they're here for a reason, indeed. I actually do have to heal, because that was way too much. Normally, if I was doing this on full speed, or sort of not on slow, I would be definitely trying to complete all of these battles without needing to use healing items, but there we go. So, we're going to be able to pass through once more. Then we get into this section. So as you can see, we have all of these ghouls that are just... So you can run past the vast majority of these battles, and again, they don't count for anything. The only battle that you have to do are these two ghasts here. And this is one of the hardest battles you've actually got so far. Just because if both try to use fire, then that could be a very quick death. Made sense to blitz there. Seeing as we're not staggering these enemies, blitz is actually just as effective as well, blitz is particularly effective when you've got two of them. So it does about 70 damage. So just going to stay healthy. No point in risking it. I'll be able to. So there we go, down they go. So now we can step onto here. And we're going to be near enough close to the end of this chapter now with a long cutscene here.
Sarah! Time to go. We have to leave before the army. What?
That's a pulse brand. That girl's a Lassie.
I already told you that.
Pulse Lassie are the enemies of Cocoon.
So they should die?
Listen, if she fails her focus, you know how that'll end.
And killing her is a mercy? You came.
Sarah! Sarah.
Is that my hero?
Let's get you out of here.
Hands off. I'm taking her home.
Sis.
I'm not your sister. You couldn't protect her. It's your fault she can save us. Sarah? You can save us. Protect us all. Save Cocoon. Save Cocoon? Sarah, that was your focus?
Anything. I'll do anything. Leave it to me, you'll see. protect Cocoon. He'll save everyone.
Somehow, I'll make things right.
You just relax.
Thank you. Sarah!
Sarah! Sarah!
Why is she turning to crystal?
The sea who fulfill their focus are transformed into crystal and gain eternal life.
Just like the stories say. So, sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams? She's not sleeping! She's...
She's alive.
No.
The legend. Remember the legend. The sea who fulfilled their focus turn to crystal and gain eternal life. It's the same with Sarah. Eternal life. She's not dead. Sarah's my bride-to-be. I promise to be hers forever. I don't care how many years I have to wait.
It's over. Open your eyes and face reality. Sarah, does becoming on the sea really mean losing everything? What now?
The army.
The target is almost in place. Surface team, what is your status? Good to go. Resistance is under control. The assault proceeds as planned. Leave no trace. The false vestige never existed.
Fire!
What's happening?
It must be a sanctum strike. Bring down the vestige and the foul sea right with it.
Taking it back to Pulse. That's what the patch wants, right?
All they care about is getting everything from Pulse off Cocoon. Dead or alive, it's all the same.
We can't stay here. They'll kill us.
I'll be right back. Hold on. Trenchcoat, where you going? Day with the foul sea. Got some things to talk about.
What? You gonna ask it to help her? Are you out of your mind, kid? That thing wants to chew us up and spit us out.
Well, what do you want me to do?
What?
Lightning? Here we go.
So here we go. We now have 3 members in our team, which is really good. I'm Bangle, power wristband. I'm just going to remove that and that. pretty sure Snow has the highest health anyway, so it's more sense for him to have the strength weapon. So the strength item. You can technically avoid most of these battles. I will fight one of these flying enemies just to show you what they're like. So the flying enemies are wights, as you can see, called wights. They can be kind of annoying. Essentially, they can dodge your physical attacks, as just proved there with Snow. So yeah, so they can dodge physical attacks, but they're not that strong. Nothing too much to be worried about. So we definitely want this item. But as you can see, so that's the first illustration that we've got. So that shows you that you can't open item crates when there are enemies nearby, essentially. We will attack the white first. Get rid of that. Like I said, that can happen. You can just miss all of your attacks on the white. But once you get some attacks on, you generally get them all. And now we can concentrate on this ghast. That's not so bad. That landed on Snow. That's actually worked out okay. Come on, there we go. Cool. So now we're going to have our first proper boss battle here. And if we open this, we're actually going to get 5 potions. And if that's not a clue that got something big coming up, then I don't know what is. But yeah, so we got our first proper boss battle. This can be pretty difficult. You've got to be careful with it, but we're in a pretty good situation. Got all the items we needed. Everyone's got the right weapons. So let's see how we fare against the Foul Sea.
So this is the Foul Sea.
Sarah's a crystal now. You gave her a focus, and she did it. You got what you want. Now let her go! Please, turn her back. I'll be your Lassie instead!
Fine. You go on begging. Like this thing gives a damn what we want!
Lightning!
It's this thing's fault the purge started. And it's people who are dying. Sarah told us to save Cocoon. That means this thing needs to die. What?
as you don't mind an amateur. I got these things. Might as well use them.
Thanks.
So here we go, our first battle against a foul sea, and it is Anima here. So the key thing with this battle is obviously to attack these. You've got to attack these two manipulators, and only once they're destroyed can you safely attack the middle. And every time you do destroy both of them, they're going to move into this stage called initiating regeneration, and obviously that's going to start regenerating back those two manipulators, and you've just got to... It's basically a battle of attrition. You've just got to keep... There's not much strategy to it, as you can imagine, because we don't have that much stuff to actually use. Actually, well worth me healing. Next turn. We have like 30 odd potions, so it's certainly worth healing. Come on, Snow, don't be a fool. Can't attack Anima yet. So yeah, so Anima. I think the name probably comes from the fact that what you'll find is that a lot of the Falsi in this game are named after summons in previous Final Fantasy games, and Anima is an Aeon in, or an Eon, I don't know how you pronounce it, but I think it's in Final Fantasy X, so that's where that comes from. Yeah, I didn't mean for that to happen annoyingly, but anyway. So, what's going to start happening is also Anima's going to start using magic against us, and that's quite a lot more dangerous than... Oh, shoot. Come on. Potion. Yeah, magical projection is actually... so, resonant magic does a decent amount of damage, and you've just got to be careful of it. If you want to get this attack in. There we go. So, both of Snow's hits go on to Anima, because Snow's the guy who's doing the most damage at the moment, and... so we want as many hits of his on to Anima as possible. Not too early there. Anyway. Left. Oh shoot. Ow. Still, should go down. Got to be careful with Snow here. Don't want to let him go down. Anima should be pretty close. Okay, so not too much further now. Like I said, you can't really get too much strategy in a game where at the moment your only moves are attack and attack, pretty much. We could probably concentrate. It's at 220. It makes more sense just to keep knocking these manipulators away. I should take that one out. Good. Just stop being a fool. There we go, so this should be it. And we're going to finish off Chapter 2 here, finish off the boss battle as Saz is going to get the final hits there. Beautiful. So there we go, we're going to get a doctor's code for that, which is actually pretty useful.
Where are we?
What's going on?
future, and I was afraid. When the future was clear, and it hurt to see, I'd just close my eyes and lose myself in happier days.
So there we go. That's the end of this little. We're going to get a lot more cutscenes, sort of a fair few more cutscenes to follow on from this. So we're just going to get to the end of this little section and finally finish off chapter 2.
Great spot to watch from.
The whole game's here tonight. How'd that happen? Don't know. Destiny? More like dumb luck. Let's go find him.
Excuse me.
See you around. You know? No, but I want to. You just missed her. She said she'd be at the usual place.
Thanks.
Sorry about that. Now, who'd you say you were looking for?
Here goes. Making a wish?
Maybe I was. I was hoping that tomorrow I can tell my sister. She'll be so mad, knowing I hid it from her.
Don't worry. I'll take the blame for you. You know, you should ask for something bigger. These are wish-granting fireworks, like in the stories.
Stories, huh? You see who fulfill their focus. They become crystal and gain eternal life.
Would help if they gave you some clue about what you're supposed to do. We'll figure this thing out. You will never be one of those monsters.
So what will I be? A crystal?
Yesterday at the store, I got us something. I don't know much about jewelry, but I hope you like it. I will stand by you, no matter what happens. I'm yours forever. Sarah. My one, my only. Will you marry me?
Yes.
She said yes!
Gotta love these fireworks. They granted my wish.
Your wish?
Before I asked you to marry me, I wished that you would say yes.
Then maybe they'll grant mine, too.
What's that?
To have the courage to tell Lightning that I've become a Lassie.
Hey, our engagement is way bigger news. sister.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hey, Snow.
Yeah. Oh. That was close.
Gorgeous. Our own private heaven.
All we need. Just you and me.
Thank you, Snow.
So there we have it, the end of another long cutscene sequence. But we're going to actually have to, obviously we want to get our trophy for finishing Chapter 2. So in order to do that, we're just going to have to finish off this little sequence here.
Sarah!
Is this for real? This must be Lake Brescia? Well, I guess we fell from up there. And the lake turned to crystal?
Help me out here. I mean, did the Foul Sea do this? How in the world did we end up here?
How should I know? We're alive. How?
Sarah! No one survives a fall from that high. Not without a miracle. Sarah saved us!
Sarah, listen. It's all your fault. She got...
Hey! Watch out!
What did I just do?
You used magic. You used the power of the sea. The Foul Sea cursed us. We're the sea now.
So we've got a quick little battle here, which will introduce the paradigm system, but we're going to skip that just for the moment because really don't need to worry about it too much. You'll notice that I think the main purpose of these enemies, these ghasts, are here just to show you the power that you get from becoming Lassie, because the speed at which you take these guys down now is so much faster than it was before. And you'll also notice that those stagger gauges are moving a lot faster than they were. But there we go. We're going to finish off that quick little battle. Got another cutscene, and then we'll be able to call this chapter to an end. This episode, I should say.
So we really are Lassie. Looks like it. You too?
Yep. Right here.
Okay.
Let's see to the last.
Why me? I don't even know you. Will you have to go and attack that thing? Just leave me alone. It's your fault. It's your fault, my... You could have... All of this is yours. It's Sarah's fault.
Watch it! Sorry.
Everything's gonna be all right. You'll see. Come on. Off we go.
See, huh?
Yep. They're all playing for Team Postman.
So there we have it, the end of chapter... the end of chapter 2, the start of chapter 3 here in Lake Brescia. And we are going to be able to continue onwards. Just going to pause because I'm pretty sure there's another cutscene there and we don't want to just wander into that. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode. We've gained another life, which takes our total up to 3. Yeah, and the game starts getting much more interesting now. We no longer just need to spam attack. We're going to have the paradigm system. We're going to get access to different classes. It's going to make battles a lot more interesting. And the game just gets better and better from here on out, in my opinion. So I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and I hope you will join me on the next, where we'll continue with Chapter 3.